Welcome to the First Circuit Podcast 78,000. Tonight's topics include Lucky Charms event, Cosair Mech challenges, NWO Global Update, Faction Play Weekly Report, Mech release Mech variants for MC, Mechwarrior 5 pre-order mechs, patch notes review, and the Corsair Mech reviews. Tonight we have Biter,
Blarg.
Ian,
Hello.
and myself, Old Bob. All next. So first off, we have the Lucky Charms event from 2019, the grab bags. So what did you guys think about this?
Same thoughts as last week mostly, which was just I like that you can tally up damage and kill assists. I found at least in playing, I started when phase 2 started, and I did all the damage things fairly quickly, but I still have a ways to go with kill assists, because kill assists, of course, require your team generally to be winning quite a lot and you not to actually be getting the kills.
Yeah.
Which means I can't just carry the team and win the match that way. I have to sort of carry them strong enough, but also leave them all the final touches, which can sometimes be a bit tricksy, at least in solo queue.
Yeah, actually, same thing with me too. I love how they overlapped them because they don't have to sit there and get 50,000 damage in 5 days or something, and then and they get 750 kill assists, and then 100 match score for 25 times. I just like how they overlap this stuff. It's just generally just playing the game like we talked about like before, and then obviously grab bags. It's like nerd gambling. So it works out pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, phase 3 is sadly still the old format where it doesn't just tally match score. So you can't just take. It would have been really nice if the phase 3 was also just earn X amount of match score, because then you're really rewarded for taking something like an AMS mech and getting a lot of match score that way, because you're still helping the team a lot. But all you need to do is get that 100 match score, which is fairly easy to do. So it's not actually incentivizing people to really reach out and get as much match score per match as possible.
Well, the last
and
time
you have to wait till the very end as well to do these 25 matches.
Yeah, I know. Last time they had it where it was 250 match score or 350 or something like that. And people started complaining, so they dropped it down, and so they kind of kept it at a single 100 for a lot of different events that are out there. So yeah, they you just gotta just run outside, shoot 5 mechs, and you'll be fine. You'll definitely get it.
And don't do too much team damage.
Yeah, don't do what old Bob does all the time.
Yeah, don't drop artillery strikes on your own team, please.
Especially on our own events. Don't do that. That's bad.
But you're both quite responsible.
Yeah, I'm well aware.
Yeah. But the prices are halfway decent. Basically, you get the paint job, you get the mechs, the C variant mechs, and then also too, it's like if you have the extra bonus loot bags for getting Dervish, Rifle, and Marauder, too, you get those bags as well. So it goes by really quickly in case you did order those.
Yeah, I really like the format for phase 1 and 2. Still not a fan of the phases slowly rolling out and how it sort of incentivizes you to do it all in the last week.
Mm-hmm.
Or how the last week it forces you to do 25 matches. There's no ways to just play really well and earn lots of loot bags like with the first 2 weeks. So phase 3 is the least rewarding in my personal opinion.
And to let everyone know, for new players like out there, a kill assist is just shooting a mech and then it dies, or if it dies within the game, you get a kill assist. So run out there. I'm not advocating this, guys. So just if you do, you just need some kill assists, run out there, shoot a large laser at a bunch of mechs, and then if you get 12, that's 12. I'm not advocating this.
It technically should note, as I said, if you're getting the finishing blow, you get the killing blow, but you don't get the kill assist.
Yeah.
It's only for those assisting those who get the kill. So it's kind of that awkward situation where it's just like, no, after you. And
Exactly.
Fafnir with red CT just firing his heavy goose at people. It's like, oh, somebody kill me!
Out of curiosity, Bida, do you plan actually maxing out the loot bags this time?
Probably not. I think with phase 3 being so disinteresting, particularly once I've done phase 2 as well, all I'm doing is once every match I'm earning 1 bag, and I'm not sure if I will have the time or inkling to do that many matches for phase 3. Whereas when you had the tally things, it was, hey, if I do really well, I get lots of loot packs. That feels really good. Whereas phase 3 is, I participated. Yay!
Participation awards. Ugh.
Yeah. And I've already earned the grand prizes. So, yeah, I
wow.
picked up the Bushwhacker, the champion Bushwhacker.
Okay.
Wait, you didn't pick the Nightstar?
No.
Aww.
Oh, come on, man. Go pick the Nightstar.
Nightstar. You need some love too.
I still have a Nightstar sitting ready to go. Haven't played it yet. Probably never will. But it's there. It's ready to go.
Okay, so next is the Cosair Mech Challenge. Obviously, a standardized event. Every time a new mech comes out, use a simple variant, get some C-bills, and then also, always a lot of people they just go for the pattern one, which is the 5RS. Get a pattern, do a 2,000 damage, get a mech line, a mountain line Cosair, and then obviously if you wanted the Parrot Warhorn, do the Ravager with the Hero one, you get an extra Warhorn. The rest are just C-bills. Sorry, go on.
I don't really see how everyone uses the collector mech thing because that actually requires you to buy the collector pack. I haven't seen that many using the collector mech variant.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, besides the show people, there are maybe one or two I actually have to collect. Then that's it.
Yeah, I think most people, like the most people, have the broadside, the free hero that was given away to everyone. That one was all over the place. That I would say is the most common variant. You do 1,000 damage, 1 million C-bills. It's nice, but nothing to really write home about. Same with most of the things, and even if you do get the collector pack, you spend all that extra money. All they're giving you is the mountain lion camo pattern.
Yeah.
Which is
boring.
Really boring.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of patterns for the Corsair, just briefly, if you pre-ordered, you got the Buccaneer pattern. And the Buccaneer, despite it being, the pirate mech, it's really underwhelming for the most part.
I wasn't too impressed either.
I miss the good old days where they would scribble a whole bunch of stuff all over the mechs for the Buccaneer patterns, and they would go all out with, with the mech. And this was the time to put that little bit of extra effort in with the Corsair.
Yeah. You would think though, if you spent money like for the collector's pack, you would they'll have a better pattern to go give away.
Yeah, I mean, it's all down to personal preference, but personally, even I just like the digital fractal patterns, the ones that just sort of you could use more easily to make it look like an actual camo scheme. Whereas the mountain lion camo is always just sort of top half of the mech is this color, middle, the waist of the mech is this color, and its legs are another color. So all I'm doing is color coding my torsos, my leggies, and my my butt, and that's it. It's like, why would I want to do that? Whereas if you just get the fractal pattern or the digital pattern, you could do some funky things with those.
I actually like the Sherman pattern, and I used that on my Roughneck. I loved how it looks. It looks like an ice cream bar. I'm kind of happy about that. But the Roughneck is a big ice cream cone.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to give a really bland pattern away, the Sherman pattern is way more interesting than the mountain lion pattern.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing for the Corsairs, the collector pack Corsair, and you get to choose one mech to unlock the mountain lion pattern if you get enough loot packs, which is
I mean, this is like their mech that they designed. Should be something like cool, type thing. This is like a PGI canon mech now, but who knows? Who knows?
Well, at least they gave the Buccaneer pattern to start with. With new mech pre-orders like the Dervish or whatever, I think they're only giving the Sherman pattern away for pre-orders. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Oh well. So to summarize the thing, it's a standard event. It's an assault mech, so the 1,000 damage are really easy to do, and the rewards is kind of underwhelming.
Yeah, exactly.
There you
go. Okay.
Moving on.
Okay, the MWO Global Update.
I was so frustrated by this. I read the thing, and Global Update for me was some kind of major thing that happens to the game. So that was last year, at least a roadmap update. And then I click the link, and it's just, yeah, hey, faction play is delayed by a month. Why do we call this global update?
Well, no, like one thing I do have to give PJ props for is they are waiting. They're not going to just rush it, and they're trying to actually make faction warfare viable. Because I mean, let's face it though, faction warfare is garbage. It is total just junk. And so, like, they're trying to make it completely better. And so, I don't mind them actually taking a month or two, kind of like, we need to do this, we need to do this, and this. In fact, I have to go start making some planets, damn it. But I'm happy they're doing this. I'm very happy they're just waiting to make it good, to make it exciting for us to be in there instead of the crap that they put out for a couple years now.
Yeah. I'm mostly just wondering why they call it global update rather than faction play update.
I don't know.
That's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
Unless they are renaming faction play to Mechwarrior Online Global. But
Which doesn't make sense either.
Yeah.
It's a galactic scale.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious what they're gonna be doing though. They have a lot of good plans. A lot of plans they were talking about, but I don't know if they're gonna implement those. But still, I think the PTS is gonna be next month or the week after that or something like that, after the patch or something. From what I understand. But I'm happy. They're gonna wait. It doesn't bother me. I waited like what 6 years so far for good faction warfare. So hopefully they're gonna do good on this one.
Yeah, but basically they said they were planning to have faction warfare, all their changes come out in April next month, but it's been moved to May. But we aren't losing out completely. The maps that they were going to bring out, like I think the frozen version of Canyon Network, is coming next month instead.
Yeah, and it's not just they paint everything white. They actually have different avenues and they change the map around, so it's gonna be different. And the map itself is gonna be Canyon Network, not just white from just snow of them painting, but it's also gonna have a different like avenues getting up the hill and everything too.
Yay.
Yeah.
There's actually snowfall.
Yes, it's gonna snow. It's kicking. It'd be cool if they actually had. No, actually, they do have that. Do have snow then. Never mind.
Yeah, they do have snow.
Yeah. Well, in my personal opinion, at least, I'm way more looking forward to more maps rather than the faction play updates. I don't really have much expectations for the faction play changes, so yeah, just more maps to play is, for me at least, much more interesting.
Yeah,
I'm more into. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't really care about faction play anyway. I do, however, like that they're doing a weekly report now, giving us a status on how it's coming along until May. So,
which gives
at
us
least
into the next one.
PGI is slightly improving their community communication, ever so slightly. Who knows? Maybe in 10 years they're gonna be great at it.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully, I'm actually looking forward to faction play because I love that stuff. I read the weekly update. You guys read it?
No.
No.
Oh, what is that?
Either it's an inside joke.
Okay.
Or I don't quite understand it.
Well, but Paul, what about April 1st? Quit calling me but Paul. I love that though. It's good they're actually doing this to kind of update people with a weekly update based on what's going on with the global update of faction warfare. And I'm happy about that. It's good they're talking to people. It's good the same thing with the AMAs. They're talking on that as well about Mechwarrior 5. I think once a month or twice a month.
The update. I mean, it's a weekly report.
No, the AMAs. Yeah, AMAs for Mechwarrior 5. Is it once a month or twice a month?
I don't no idea.
Okay, well,
I can check for you.
They're still updating people what's going on, and that's a good thing, keeping people into the loop of what's there and how they're working on different things. So good things are waiting for that. Okay, next is the mech release, mech variants for MC, which are the Javelin, the Rifleman, the Warhammer, Night Gear, and the Marauder 2C. These are the loyalty variants that were happening a while, I think last year, and they're for MC for right now, so you'll be able to go pick those up.
Yeah, eventually though, looks like they have a loyalty variants. I expect them to come available for C-bills, and then you can actually, might be worth picking up that ECM Warhammer, the ECM side torso, and the Night Gear, and maybe the Rifleman and Javelin, and oh, don't bother with that Marauder.
Very true. Very
Yep,
true.
that's more or less it. It's just like with any other mech release for MC or C bills. Just wait until it's out for C bills. It's only a month or so away anyway, probably.
Yeah,
Keep tuned to the First Circuit podcast. We're gonna remind you once they're for seals.
exactly. Okay, and next is the Mechwarrior 5 pre-order Mechs. This came out of the blue. I don't know why actually they did this. Well,
Yeah, that's
obviously
gonna be
marketing.
totally blue.
What's that?
So what happened? Suddenly, out of nowhere, I saw a Twitter post that Mechwarrior 5, if you pre-ordered it, there were 4 additional mechs for Mechwarrior Online to get. Those are a Catapult, a King Crab, a Marauder, and is that a Warhammer 2C?
Regular
regular-
they're all in
regular
sphere
Warhammer.
mechs. Yeah,
alright.
they're
Alright, so if you already pre-ordered, you're getting 4 additional free mechs. You just have to go to the site, redeem your code, and you're gonna get those mechs in May, I think.
Yeah, so this is just PGI's attempt. I think the MW5 pre-order on their website is ending, just before the end of May. It concludes at May.
Okay.
So this is their final push to get people to buy, get into the pre-order. And as long as you pre-order it early enough, you're getting, these extra 4 variants. So it's just to remind people, Mechwarrior 5, you can pre-order it. You're getting even more stuff now if you pre-order even the most basic level. I bought it's not linked to whatever tier you get. If you get just the regular standard community edition for $50, you're getting that Marauder 2 pre-order. You're getting these 4 mechs. You're getting all the cockpit items, bits and bobs, MCC bills, premium time, the game itself, Mechwarrior 5, the soundtrack, etc., etc. So they're just adding more and more sweet stuff on top of Mechwarrior 5 and reminding people about this thing. I don't particularly care for necessarily the way they've done it, where the catapult, it's only 17 days left. Like if you pre-order just a few days before the pre-order ends, you're only getting the King Crab. You're missing out on the Marauder, the Warhammer, and the Catapult. So the longer you wait, the more you're missing out on these extra free mechs that you're getting in Mechwarrior Online.
I thought that was weird. I didn't understand. That was just a weird marketing thing, but I guess it's like, oh yeah, I gotta go get it, type thing. That was just,
Yeah.
I don't like that too, actually.
I kind of wonder if it's just a random decision they made to tier it like this, or whether they are actually currently pressed for money and need additional funds. I'm hoping it's not the latter, but it kind of seems like it might be.
Actually, Ian, since you're a tech guy, how hard would it be to, say, make a mech to change out the loadouts, as far as the hard points, and then put them out for, like, say, the catapult that they have up here? Like, how hard is that?
Not particularly hard to just code it. The hard part is doing all of the hard points, the in-game model.
No, okay.
Because all of these mechs do need individual models for each individual weapon type. So it's a fair bit of work.
I imagine, at least for a fair number of these, like the catapult, there's already another variant with ballistic side torsos. You copy those and paste it onto this one. Missile arms, you copy from all the other ones with missile arms, up to 2, and paste it here. Same somewhat goes, I think, with the Warhammer, easy peasy. The Marauder and the King Crab, though, are actually able to mount missile hub points on the opposite side torso from where any other variant can do.
Yeah.
So that will require some unique work to model the hard point.
Yeah, and of course the texturing and alpha maps for the mechs, since they are getting unique skins, which are, by the way, really pretty.
Also, mechs like the Warhammer is gaining jump jets, so you have to add in jump jet animations.
Yeah, true.
However, in terms of dipping up time, they have the Mechwarrior 5 team constantly focusing on their thing, but they have still Mechwarrior Online, the people who make new mechs every month. They just tell them, you've got more work on your plate for this particular month.
Yeah. Well, I figure basically, since it's a really good marketing term to, doesn't take them quote end quote much to build these things, to say, here, here's some more stuff, please buy our stuff. please buy Mechwarrior 5 type thing. So just kind of added bonus, and it is kind of like marketing as well for them to go ahead and say, hey, 4 more mechs, if you get them by this time, you get to have all these cooler things too, type thing. Tell your friends. It's a marketing ploy, but like I was just curious, just how hard it was, and if it's not that hard, I mean, I figure like why not? Why not put put an extra 4 mechs there?
I'm
I think-
definitely quite happy about getting more free stuff. I just wonder what the reason for it is, if they had any conscious reason.
I think it's just a way to remind the Mechwarrior Online community about Mechwarrior 5. It's a way to do a drive
Yeah,
for pre-orders at the very end, because when they announce Mechwarrior 5, not all the Mechwarrior Online people are online. They're not checking the site every week like we are, and so there's probably a fair amount of the community that kind of misses this thing. Whereas if you do a new fresh drive like this, you put it up on the site, you could do a whole bunch more marketing and get another segment of the population to pre-order.
yeah.
And at least in some ways, it's amazing how much stuff they're giving away in the Mechwarrior 5 pre-order, and this is just giving even more away. It sometimes could be a thing where, oh wow, look at the pre-order numbers we got from Mechwarrior 5 because we got so many pre-orders. Let's just add more stuff. Therefore, it will be even better, won't it? And we're not actually investing that much.
Yeah.
It could be a whole bunch of stuff like that, but we're all just speculating, of course.
Yeah.
I guess our recommendation still stands. If you're even remotely interested in Mechwarrior 5 and you do play Mechwarrior Online, go ahead and pre-order the standard edition. It's
well
I'd
worth
say
it.
just for the extra stuff alone, it's worth it.
The one question I have, I'm not sure. I think it's probably fine, but at least let's say I've already pre-ordered ages ago, and what you have to do is you get a code. The code is already available on the website, on the Mechwarrior 5 website, to redeem in MWO to get these pre-order mechs. What happens if I redeem this code really late? Does that mean if I redeem it and I only get a king crab? I mean, I pre-ordered the actual thing really early on, and that's just something I haven't necessarily seen looked into to make sure that it's based on when you purchase rather than when you redeem the code.
That's
I don't
actually
know.
a really good question. I think it's going to be about the purchase, because if you go to the page, you can see which mechs you do qualify for. So I'm fairly certain it actually counts this. But with PGI, that's a real concern.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a feeling it is indeed just on the time of purchase. But yeah, still, the sweet spot to pre-order Mechwarrior 5 was when at the very beginning, because you also got the Marauder 2 pre-order bonuses, unless you were silly and didn't enter the code.
Or enter it on a different account. Unless you got, just that type of person.
You did it on the wrong account, and you did it late, Bob.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Hey, man, I'm a busy man. I can't keep track of this stuff. You kidding?
Dear audience, this is what we deal with on a daily basis.
Yes. Oh, man. Yeah, make sure you put it on your right account, guys, if you have multiple accounts. Like Beef, man. I feel sorry for that guy. That guy has a lot of accounts. And I'm sure basically he has a list. He has a data spreadsheet of like every account, all the passwords and everything. So like, okay, which one did I buy Mechwarrior 5 on? I'm sure that happens for him.
Okay, so I think we all agree this is a very nice sweetening of the deal. It's great that they are adding even more stuff to the Mechwarrior 5 pre-order. It makes it even more worth its while. But what do we think of these new variants that are coming out?
Oh,
they're pretty.
Yeah, I actually want to ask you, Ian, that age we don't talk about. Everyone's been saying it's been that these mechs are from that age. I'm just curious.
Yes.
They are?
Yes.
Then I don't want them anymore.
Originally, I didn't see that they were from Mechwarrior Online, so I actually checked which time frame they come from, because I thought they were from Mechwarrior 5.
Yeah.
And I got kind of confused because they all are of the unspoken ages.
Really? Oh, they're gonna be
Every single
mothballed.
one of them.
They're gonna be mothballed.
Mm.
Oh God, no! Damn it!
But at least they're classic chassis, so I don't feel too bad about using them.
It's kind of funny just on that note, because the king crab does look like the promotional art used in Mechwarrior 5. It looks like the poster boy, but obviously he's not in the right timeline at all. You're not going to be able to play this.
Well, I mean, Mechwarrior, Mechwarrior Line is not a right timeline anyways. Right now it's 3058, but they had all the technology out and everything that, some of the tech was from 3064 and 5 and stuff like that. And then also, yeah.
We don't talk about continuity in Mechwarrior Online.
Okay, never mind then.
But hey,
Time
who knows? Maybe with future updates we will be getting those Mechs in Mechwarrior 5 as well. I'm fairly certain about that.
Mm.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on the actual variants, like the catapult?
Alright, Catapult. It's weird.
It's weird.
It's weird to say the least. I'm probably gonna play it like the original Ballistic K2 with dual Gauss, dual AC-20, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I personally don't like the combination of missiles and ballistic.
Yeah, it's interesting because it is like the K2 is the only ballistic side also one, and they couldn't combine that with missiles. This one does sort of give you the opportunity to do it something like a roughneck, where you put like SRM-24 and an LB-20 or something in there.
Yeah.
But those missile arms, they fall off quickly, a lot more quickly than probably the roughneck.
Yes.
So why make a wannabe roughneck?
And just in general, why put SRMs and you're still in a catapult? You're not really gonna brawl with this one.
Yeah.
And 4 missile slots are not enough, like the A1, to go for one-shot capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's also only a 65 tonner, and it's really hard to fit in something like 2 LB-10s and a meaningful missile complement with enough ammo and heat sinks on top of all of that. Like, those hardpoints really demand a lot of tonnage.
Yeah.
And the most valuable ones are just the ballistic side torsos.
yeah, so let me give you a glance back into beta times. The original K2 build was dual Gauss or dual AC-20, and I do think these are the builds we're gonna see on this one primarily.
I agree on that one.
It's like for me it's gonna be a ballistic K2 with jump jets, and
Yes.
that is something I can totally get behind and something I'm excited about.
So part of the attractive part of the K2 package was just you take those heavy ballistics and then you can chuck in a couple medium lasers to just round out the mech. And this, it's not the same. You can't just chuck in a couple of SRM2s to round out the mech. It really doesn't work that way. So yeah, it's interesting, but probably not that effective. Okay, the Warhammer.
Jump jets, I love it. I don't care about a loadout. I just want jump jets.
Inner sphere jump jet Warhammer compared to the
Mhm.
2C. So yeah.
With 4 jump jets, it can jump as much as the Grasshopper. Yeah, it's another 70 tonner with jump jets and energy hardpoints.
The energy boat though too.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a Grasshopper, only that a lot of the hard points are in the arms, which are kind of low.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I don't know how much play this one's gonna see.
Some people do really like the Grasshopper just for the few high-mounted hardpoints you can do. Like some people like doing 2 high-mounted heavy PPCs on the Grasshopper. You could do that probably with the Warhammer as well and have a good peaking profile with those side torsos.
I guess.
A funny thing at this one is also its engine cap. The Warhammer is usually only limited to like 340 engine, if I'm not mistaken. Was it? Yeah, 340. Just like the Grasshopper. This one, though, it's got an engine cap of 400. It's one of the few heavy mechs, other than a Thanatos, that can actually take a 400 engine. That means it can go, like 80, 90 kph, I think, or so. It could be a kind of speedy boy and have jump jets. So if you want XL 400 max jump jets, something 5 medium lasers, there you go. You've got your speedy Warhammer.
It's definitely gonna be a meme build in my mech bay.
Yeah. Sometimes I do like that if you're doing pure energy boats, instead of taking 340 engine, you can go up to just 350 and get some good speed and the extra internal double heatsink. But yeah, for the most part, the Warhammer has never really needed a larger engine cap, and it's just too much tonnage down the drain to just go a little bit faster when you should just put that into weaponry.
True. How with the Marauder?
I kind of
ECM?
like this. Yeah, Marauder has the ECM and exactly the same hard points as the 5D. It's like 5 energy, 2 missile. The missile hard points are actually better, in my opinion. 1 on each side torso means you don't get them. Like if you're chucking 2 MRMs in there, you could only do like, 2 MRM 30. You couldn't shove too much in the like 2 MRM 40s. But with side torsos, you could do an MRM40 on each side torso and be completely fine. And the 5D had the awkward position where its missiles were in the left torso, and the left torso, with how teams rotate, always counterclockwise, means the left side was more likely to get shot off with all your missiles on it. And whilst the side torso energy does allow you to run PPCs, the head does allow for more zombie potential, and it allows your laser to stay there a lot longer. So, hey, it's the Marauder 5D with ECM and much better hardpoints. I like E.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Tempest. I think that's the way I'm gonna play this one.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Only thing technically to say would be it doesn't take jump jets like the Marauder 5D. It can't jump snipe MRMs, but you never really jumped much with Marauders anyway, for the most part.
Not really.
No.
Except for the Marauder 2, but that's gonna be next month.
All right, last one, King Crab.
I'm not assault pilot, so I have no clue.
Assault mix.
I don't take the easy button.
On the first glance, it seems fairly standard, like the stock King Crab, except it has more missile hardpoints, right?
Yeah, the only unique feature compared to all the other King Crabs for the most part is just its right torso has a missile hardpoint. All the King Crabs, I think, have typically they have just the missile hardpoint stuck onto one side torso, which really limits. Like if you're trying to boat MRMs, all of them have to go into one side, and MRMs are big; they take up all that space. This one, though, you could do an MRM30 on one side torso and the MRM30s in the other side torso, and have a fairly good alpha strike now.
Right, so MRM90 and machine guns?
Something like that. It is a nicer missile hardpoint placement, but otherwise it is just another King Crab. I think also 4 missile hardpoints has typically the King Crab typically, you drop a couple of missile hardpoints and you get more ballistic hardpoints. This one has actually got 4 missile and 4 ballistic, whereas the next best you've got, I think, is just 4 missile and 2 ballistic. Just like with the catapult, though, there's a little problem where you just sort of run out of tonnage to actually equip all those hardpoints, and I'm not sure what you really want to do with 4 ballistic hardpoints that you couldn't have done with 2. Like you could do SRM24 and 2 LB10 or something. What are you going to do instead? 4 SRM6 and 4 AC2? It's nice, but yeah, it's nothing
Range brackets.
special. Yeah, I guess.
It would be probably a decent build on tabletop, but not so much Mechwarrior Online.
King Crab has such a large exposure profile, I usually use it as a brawler. And for that, I use the King Crab quadruple O, because that one you could put all the weapons on one side and use your entire right side as a shield.
Yeah.
It kind of strikes me like the Solaris Mechs pre-order. Except you're not paying for just these mechs. It's just, hey, we're bringing out a whole bunch of new Inner Sphere mechs that have kind of interesting hardpoints or unique little features like ECM or slightly mixed around hardpoints or jump jets from the Warhammer. And you're getting it for free, so enjoy your slightly different mechs.
Okay, so next we have the patch notes review. Wow, there's a lot inside here that we there was a lot. Well, one thing obviously that I loved was bringing back the classic maps. That was just amazing to go see these maps once again, and to not know what's going on as far as okay, everyone's gonna go to B4, everyone's gonna go shoot from C7 to this location, and this was no one knew what to do. That's what I loved about it. They were just running around doing different things. It was like a completely different game playing these new maps. Amazing. Thank you for bringing these back.
For me, it's just complete a nostalgic bonus. I did actually have some manly tears in my eye when I saw some of the places I spent hundreds of hours back in beta.
You got manly tears?
Yeah, of course, manly tears.
Manly tears?
His girlfriend's over, so he has to make sure he clarifies that.
But yeah, these maps were just great, man. Going through the tunnel, I played with you guys last night, and the tunnel push that they did, it was like we're trying to hold them off. It was a lot of fun, man. It was good.
Well, the funny thing in that match, at least, if it's the same one I'm remembering, half of us went around on the flank, and that was
Yeah.
really not the right move at all. It still worked out kind of in the end, but it was sort of, it was a really bad play on our part.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. But still, still, it's something new that basically they put in there that it's not the same dumb things like we know exactly what's going to happen in the first minute. Where just where everyone's going. But yeah, these maps are awesome. It's the Frozen City Brawl maps, the tunnel in the Forest Colony. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. I loved it.
Yeah, because that would be my biggest takeaway from these maps is just somewhat the back in the day I really loved brawling, taking like the Atlas of SRM24, AC20, those kind of mechs, and getting in people's faces and blowing them away. And slowly over time, though, that playstyle has become mostly obsolete or outclassed, at least in terms of the overall meta strategy, where you're sort of just this one niche build doing a brawl rather than everyone doing the brawl. And just seeing these maps again, they're so close quarters very quickly. Both teams are on top of one another. There's not this long period where both teams are maneuvering into the usual sniping positions to fire trading, trade with one another. And I'm sitting there with my brawler with my thumb up my arse, waiting for hopefully the battle to get close enough for me to do something. And I'm hoping my team doesn't just get their asses handed to them in the long range trades, because that's always great at a brawler mech. You're just sitting there for 5 minutes as your team gets dunked on by Gore snipers. And I'm just like, if you're losing the snipes, why are you still sniping?
Yeah.
I'm gonna poke again. Oh no, I died. And then it's just me sitting behind the hill still. It's like, I can't do anything. What do you expect me to do? Just charge into their gun line and take a 700-meter charge? I mean, in the end, it's just I should have just taken my MRMs. Why SRMs? They have a slightly better cluster up close. What's the point in that? But yeah, I'm just so happy to see Brawl back in the game. I'm just so happy to have matches get stuck into the fight so much more quicker. And with these maps in rotation, it makes taking a Brawl build or a close range build a lot more viable, at least for the bigger, heavier mechs. I haven't played much with the smaller mechs, and the problem with these maps sometimes is you don't have the room to maneuver.
Yeah.
But just Brawl existing again is just so much more fun. It's good old times.
Yeah, these maps are very, very small compared to what they've been putting out, and like Forest Colony, I'm running around going, oh my god, they're right there, holy cow. It's like the match just started and they're like shooting us like right then and there. So they're very, very small, but a lot of fun to go play on though. The only thing I don't like is the simple reason it doesn't show up as much because Domination and I think Conquest are the two maps that or two versions of the game mode that don't include these, which kind of sucks.
Domination and Incursion, I think they do.
Okay,
have
Incursion, sorry.
Something like that.
Yeah, Conquest was the one back then.
Yeah, okay. They got Assault, Skirmish, and Conquest, yeah. But if those pop up, you're not be playing those, so that kind of blows.
Mm-hmm.
So it is kind of rare to get them.
Yeah, and well, it'll take a while, but I'm a little bit more frustrated with just Forest Colony because that tunnel is of such big importance. You just want to form your team into a blob and push, and people are just sort of like, this is like a big map. I should split up. No, don't split up. You're gonna walk into their death ball. And it sometimes just feels like you're going to win or lose just based on how your team moves rather than how quickly you can kill the people in front of you. But when your team is all moving forward in that death ball and you've got a mech that can trade really well, it feels great.
Yeah.
So yeah, great improvement to have these maps back. It's a pity they were taken out in the first place.
Yeah.
Frozen City, the remake, I think was a huge downgrade in my personal opinion. There's such a huge long-range map, whereas Frozen City Classic, there was a way for long-range mechs to still get their work done, and for brawler mechs, like it's a much more balanced game in my opinion. At least it's good to have brawling back in the meta rather than it all being sniper fests.
Well, next we got
the weapon changes, and okay, sure, there was some change to LRO fire, but the biggest change of this patch was AMS.
Which we did a nice little test on that, and that was fun actually.
Yeah, as we said last week, we didn't actually know the numbers of what they were changing the missile health to be. Now, at least on Reddit, some people said they've looked into the Mechwarrior Online API, and what they found was the vast majority of missiles had their health nerfed, in some cases by quite a lot, such that AMS, in some ways, I think is probably much more effective against missiles than it used to be. And on top of that, AMS has got a blanket 15% range increase. So with this patch, even though they were, for so long, they're like, we want to make LRMs more viable. We're going to try and give this direct fire. We're going to try and make, them more clustered. And when you fire directly, they fly faster when you fire directly. It's like, oh, okay, you're trying to make LRMs viable. And then when they introduce the patch, they're just like, oh yeah, by the way, we're just making AMS like 50% better.
Yeah, basically running the test that we did. That was it's like, okay, fire alarm 20 at me. Up, didn't hit me. It destroyed one right inside the tubes. Okay, fire a burst of 20 and 10. Okay, well some got through, but like literally though, I was blowing missiles out of the outer tubes before they even launched.
Yeah, so the biggest change in PGI trying to make LRMs viable was that everyone just starts taking AMS because they made AMS super viable. And the funny thing is, they said in the patch notes is like, we want to reinforce that AMS is a soft counter to missiles. And I assumed what they're doing, before all missiles had one hit point each, other than Narc. And they're saying, oh, we want to reinforce that it's only a soft counter. So let's just say LRM5s get a 20% more health. They're 1.2 health per missile. Therefore, they're going to get slightly more through than they used to. I'm like, okay, it's probably not going to mean much. But no, what they've done is, to give some numbers here, LRM5s, they still have just one health. So they get shot down just as easy as before, except AMS has a longer range.
Yeah.
LRM10 has 0.9 health, so it's a 10% loss of health. LRM15, 20% health lost. This is 0.8 health. LRM20 is 30% health is gone. SRM6s, Streak 6s, they only have 0.5 health per missile, a 50% reduction in their health points, so AMS is twice as effective against them now. MRMs were not very badly affected by AMS in the past, but MRM10 is now at 50% health. The MRM40, by contrast, is at 20.2 health. It's lost 80% of its hit points, which means AMS in large numbers can really shut down MRM play, or at least really curtail it compared to what it used to be.
Well, any like missile boats basically have a iron dome of AMS systems. You could just nerf anything. Go nerf any missile boats out there.
Yep, but MRMs were definitely heavily impacted. When I ran the quad AMS Cosair, I fought a MERM 60 quick draw, and he didn't do anything to me.
Yeah.
It took me forever to kill him because I didn't have offensive weapons really, but he just didn't damage me at all.
Yep, and this is really going to hurt as well, like clan streaks in particular. Their longer range and slow travel time and very long reload times means it really hurts when all those missiles are shot down and you have to wait 6 seconds to fire again. So yeah, they said, oh, we want to make it a soft counter. So what they did was incredible nerfs, up to 80% nerfs to the hit points of many weapon systems. Now, this doesn't mean necessarily that missile weapons are weaker. It just means AMS is stronger, if it makes sense. It's, your MRM40 is just as effective against any target as long as there's no AMS around. But AMS will shoot down, it's hard to say, 50%, twice as many missiles as it did before. So instead of just shooting down 1 or 2, it's shooting down 3 or 4 or 5 missiles instead.
See, like that's the issue too. They also gave it like a range, so it has more chance to shoot down your missiles. And then if you put range skill nodes like into it, it's even better. And then if you even have the Cosair, it's even better. So like like you're looking at, like I had 20% extra range for my Cosair, and I was like 237, I think, like that. And it's like I'm shooting these things down like they're nothing. I'm like, whatever. And yeah, just man, they're probably gonna change it. So they're probably gonna change the how the AMS system works. Because I mean, literally though, like I'm running through with a Hunchback 4J and I can't do crap versus an AMS boat. I can't do nothing, and he just knock him down like whatever. With so much more ammo too.
Yeah, so whilst they may have curtailed some mechs like the triple AMS Nova, which was really potent for the number of AMSs it's actually mounting on top of it. They just gave all the AMS AMS is so strong against missiles, it is quite a good choice to just pick up one of them on your mech.
Yeah.
Because you're shutting down missile play quite strongly in this. So yeah, everyone was worried that the new Lerm apocalypse was coming with this change because they're doing so much work to make LRMs more viable, and it turned out they made an even stronger AMS buff. Like they made AMS Super Saiyan.
Yeah, just take one, basically like 1 ton, which is, AMS and a half a ton of ammo. That'll actually give you A, more match score, A, more money, and B, help out your team a little bit more. And, 1 ton, come on, 1 ton, guys. That's all you need to go put the stuff in there. That's it, 1 ton. Don't be greedy, man.
Yeah.
Save your teammates.
The biggest affected by this change would have to be, of course, clan LRMs, where if you take an LRM 20, you've lost, each missile has only got 70% of the health it used to, and you stream your missiles very slowly. It takes, I don't know, like half a second, 3/4 of a second to actually fire an entire volley.
Yeah.
Which makes AMS, it was already strong against it before. It's incredibly strong against clan LRMs. And this is sort of the thing I mentioned to Bob when we were doing testing. His quad AMS Cosair is completely shutting down my Streak 18, for example. I invested, streaks are not cheap on IS side. I've invested 11, 12 tons in this, and you're shutting it down like nothing. Not even a single missile is getting through.
Yep. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah. Like basically, like IanDresarie Lerms, they actually hit like a hammer, just as one big volley group, and then obviously we're talking about clan Lerms. They do like a stream, so it's easier to go shoot those down than actually to kill the one big lump of missiles coming towards you.
Mm-hmm. The only quote-unquote winner from this was the ATMs. Technically, ATMs actually got a health increase other than ATM 12s. ATM 9s got 1.1 health per missile, ATM 6 1.2, and ATM 3s have 1.3 health per missile. So they are slightly more resistant to AMS, but ATMs were already weak against AMS because there's only there's relatively few missiles, and the larger launchers stream them out. And at least for ATM 12s, of course, they just have to contend with longer AMS range, and they have no benefit whatsoever.
Yeah.
Other than velocity. Other than velocity.
To give you context on ATMs, I ran my triple ATM 9 Vapor Eagle yesterday, and the only targets I fired at were ones with a single AMS or less. 2 AMS, and none of my ATM 9s got through.
Of course, they're going to change that. They have to change that because I'm sure there's a bunch of people whining about it already.
This change is huge, at least in terms of how AMS plays, and this is why I think they really should have given us the numbers. I don't know why they're being secretive about their numbers changes, and at least, as we said before, I really don't care for this change in terms of flavor and fluff. It just doesn't feel right that larger launchers scrape more metal off the missiles, like a ridiculous amount of metal off the missiles.
Yeah, for the health-wise.
Particularly like the MRMs, you're going from 0.5 HP on an MRM 10, which is, let's just say, our baseline, to an MRM 40. It's scraping 0.3 health off the missile. Like 60% of the armor casing is being removed as it's fed into the launcher. What is wrong with this interspin tech?
It's harsh. It's harsh, man. AMS would just, they're gonna change it. They have to. They have to change that thing, man. Like when were you like gonna do like a 36 like AMS and just destroy like any Lerm boats? Gonna do that last night or next week or something?
Yeah, I was trying to get us to do quad AMS Corsairs and quad AMS Piranhas together.
Okay.
And that should completely shut down missile play. Even before the AMS buffs, it would have been a really powerful against LRM teams. But with all these changes and improvements, I think it would have been insane if we came across any LRM team. They would not be able to touch us with their missile weapons.
Yeah.
Soft counter indeed.
Yeah, not a soft counter. Iron Dome most likely. So, like, anything else from the patch notes, guys?
Well, we did get the Lerm changes, which do feel really nice whenever you do get to actually get them through to the target. So yeah, those feel really good. They feel as good as we experience in the PTS, and I'm really happy about the limb changes.
Yeah, same with me too. Actually, I love how now the learn boats aren't hiding 1,000 meters away. They're actually, 3 to 500, or they're in your group trying to get the and trying to get the direct fire or get closer, basically. And I like that. And they're sharing armor, doing different things, and so that's a good thing. I never really had a problem with that or got upset, but like a lot of people did get upset with that. But it's a good thing they're doing this now, though.
There are some funny situations I have where like I want to close the distance with like an LRM 60 stalker, and I'm in a light mech, and I'm only like 250 meters away or something like that. But he's staring at my position, and he's gonna lock onto me and fire one hell of a volley every time I try and poke or charge towards him. It's just like, do I want to? Oh, this is before I just bullied him. This isn't fair. Where's my AMS Mechs? If I had a single AMS, he would be ruined.
Yeah. But all these changes, though, like I think are positive, though, except for the obviously the AMS is a little bit too powerful. Have you guys been using tag? I'm just curious.
I mean, obviously, all of my mechs still have tag. If you're the learn boat and you use tag, it doesn't really benefit you. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Tag and Narc were mostly only useful as group play weapons, really, and they've really reinforced that role with this change. But the thing is, with the AMS changes, who cares? What's missile weapons? I got rid of my missile weapons. Let's just use Dagger and lasers.
Exactly. Yeah, I have to modify a lot of my mechs and take out the tag and narc because it just doesn't do anything for you like anymore.
Technically, at least Narc, the HP is exactly the same. It's just the reload time, that huge nerf from before, is still in effect. So it's not as useful in solo queue anymore, and its only real use is in group queue when all of you are doing the LERM shenanigans.
Oh yeah, true. But I still got to remodify a lot of mechs though, just to make them up to date for the changes.
Yeah,
I'm gonna leave tag in, and I'm gonna wait with my final opinion until we get a hotfix for the AMS thing. At least I'm assuming it's gonna be a hotfix.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll have to play more of it, and it all depends how much AMS actually creeps up in the meta, how much people actually take it. But I do a lot of streak mech play, and particularly the smaller mechs, light mechs, medium mechs, they can only take so many streaks or SRMs, and they're going to get shut down a lot harder than those LRM-80 supernovas.
Yeah.
Their entire missile complement that they're investing a large portion of their tonnage can be completely deleted by this way more effective AMS. So I might just have to scrap a whole bunch of missile mechs and just turn into a DACA player with these AMS changes.
Way to go. Bring Lerms and then everyone goes DACA. And then next patch is DACA. A DACA nerf.
All you have to do is hope that PGI never really wants to buff your weapon systems.
Yeah.
Because they might just destroy it utterly.
Oh, God.
Okay, we're going to be changing DACA. Now, DACA is really good on clan, so we're doubling all IS survival quirks.
Okay.
It's like, well done, PGI. You have really helped clan DACA. Now everyone is only playing IS mechs because they are invincible. Speaking of invincible, though, another little change they did was the Hatamoto is getting a whole bunch of extra survival quirks. It already had survival stuff to it, so I actually am really liking the Hatamoto Chi after this patch. You don't see it too often.
No.
But it is armored like a tank. I love it.
I'll have to look at it again because like I got it and I played it a couple times and I like the Charger a lot better. But I'll have to take a look at that. Once again, take another look.
Yeah, like the Hatamoto Chi 27T. I've actually had some success despite the AMS nerfs. Like this runs LRM 40 Streak 12. Its center torso has 141 on the front, and its side torsos have 99 on the as well. It's a tank. It's great. I'm running Excel in an assault mech, and I don't care.
We'll have to check that out and see. Okay. Anything else on the patch notes, just real quick?
Have you guys played the Warhammer 2C?
No, I haven't actually. Like, I've been on my alt account trying to get him money because he's poor.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the Warhammer 2C got only a little bit larger, but the survivor quirks are quite nice. I like living a little longer with this thing. It's great.
Okay. Next is the Corsair mech. The interesting hodgepodge of Frankenstein mechs put together. So, how'd you guys like these?
Corsair, I'd
Yeah.
say it's pretty good.
I'd say it's fun but weird.
I'd say it's viable. I'm not a salt pilot, but it's viable. I definitely like playing them. It wasn't like the worst thing in the world. It was just hard to get a decent build that I like to go play, or an old Bob build.
Yeah, it is a confusing mech to play. I think it has such a large variety of hardpoints available to it. It's somewhat tempting to use all the hardpoints or to spec into X or Y or Z, and finding it's kind of awkward with the weapons spread out like they are.
Yeah.
But once you get used to it, it's fairly good at spreading damage. Its biggest weakness or nuisance is if you turn 90 degrees to the side where you're trying to hard shield, they can actually hit your rear side torsos fairly easily, particularly if you have the high arms, which means you actually you mostly want to roll with just sort of the front arc of your mech, like not 180 degrees, something like 160 or so degrees.
I didn't notice that. What's that?
The twisting game is sort of like in my water in this one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Otherwise, though, it is fairly good at spreading damage. It at least doesn't have it doesn't have a Banshee center torso problem. It has that a little bit, but it's much better at spreading damage. It's not a walking center torso. The quad AMS Corsair, I think, is at least the most fun variant I've played with. At least because that 10 to 15% range buff is really nice. It allows you to keep your distance even with just things like medium lasers. And the quad AMS, of course, with the ridiculous buffs, shut down most missile mechs, and you just get to laugh and say, he still thinks missile weapons are useful.
Yeah, one of the ones I did enjoy was the 7A. That's one I quirked or skill note out, was just that one. The other ones I kind of fiddled with a little bit, but didn't really like them. But the 7A is one of the best ones. But of course, I'm a support pilot, so I gotta play the 4 quad like AMS 95-ton mech. It was fun.
I typically, with the Corsair, it kind of looks and feels like, with ballistic and missile, I'm often like, yeah, this thing's going to be a brawler, be like a roughneck. But it doesn't have the survival quirks to really tough it out in close quarters. You're much better off taking an Atlas, a King Crab, a Roughneck, a Victor, a Charger. Yeah, it's not tanky enough to brawl. It's much better, in my opinion, usually to take mid-range-ish kind of builds, MRMs, Ultra 10s, etc.,
Yeah.
and just use that incredibly good peaking profile to its full effect.
Yeah, I haven't really messed around with the free one though. Like I think I looked at it once and I was like, okay, I'm gonna play the 7A now. But the and the hero one, I didn't really mess around with that one. Just the 7A is one of the best ones, I would have to say, with four large pulse lasers. It was a lot of fun to play. It was easy, and it was fast. I put a big engine on it. It would move really quickly. The armor, you just kind of, just like we're talking about, just roll with the punches, like like when you get hit. But I think this week I'm going to use the other ones, that's 5R, 6R, and all that kind of stuff. I'll start using the other ones and see how they work.
Obviously, the broadside saw a lot of use because it was the free mech,
Yeah.
and everyone liked playing their free mech. They didn't even have to buy the standard pack for it. It meant there was a lot of dual Gorse broadsides around because this one got 20% cooldown with Gorse weapons.
Oh wow.
Usually dual Gorse with large lasers backup type things. Though with pugs, they find a way to somehow get just 2 Gorse, an ER large laser, a PPC, and a laser AMS on it, and still think that makes sense.
Yeah. But like overall, though, I have to say PGI kind of hit it out of the park with this one, so I'm happy about this one.
It's
even
good
though,
mech.
oh, like I was just say, like even though I'm not a assault pilot and I don't like using them.
Yeah, the only thing I would say, somewhat to its detriment, of course, it isn't too heavily quirked from the majority of variants. A little bit of heat gen would have been nice, maybe, or a little bit more survival. Otherwise, yeah, it's pretty good. The mech, because of its spread hard points, does have a fairly wide profile to shoot with. There's times where I'm peeking sideways around a hill, and one of my arms are just shooting into the hill, and it feels really bad. And with that wide profile, it can also be an issue shooting around it with your teammates, or shooting your teammates if you're in a gun line.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's a little bit awkward at times, but the mounts are still really high. The hard points are really generous, and it at least has some survival and some quirks on some variants to make it worth your time.
Yeah, it's a good mech. It's not bad. They did a good job on this one. I'm happy. Old Bob happy.
Yeah, I think it's a solid competitor with the Banshee. The Banshee has way more in the ways of survival quirks and weapon quirks, but the Banshee also often has its weapons mounted low now, sadly after the weapon refits. And the Banshee has such a huge center torso that just loves taking fire. Whereas the
Yeah.
Corsair has that great peaking profile, and all of those weapons are highly mounted. So it's able to get a lot more done than just being a laser boat.
I definitely agree on the peak and profile, like using those. It's amazing how high these freaking mounts are. So I think that wraps up episode 78,000 of the First Circuit podcast. Today we had as our host Biter,
Blarg.
Ian,
Blarg,
and Old Bob Blarg. And thank you for watching the First Circuit podcast. We do appreciate everything you guys do. Definitely leave any comments down below, and we'll see you guys on the battlefield.